Hello everyone, welcome to Laura's Stamp Pad. I thought I would jump on and do a little stamping with you guys on this Friday afternoon that's super hot, or at least here in Illinois. It's pretty toasty out there. But I have some projects that I did this week, and I have some leftovers that I wanted to do. So I actually might be making like 3 of this card, which gives you guys just a little bit of more of an opportunity to be able to see what I'm doing as we're going along. So I am playing with the You're a Peach Designer Series paper. It is one of the Designer Series papers that's in the Designer Series paper sale going on this month. So you can actually get this 12 by 12 Designer Series paper pack for 15% off, which makes it $9.78, so less than $10 for a pack of 12 by 12 double-sided Designer Series paper. Hi, Cindy. I'm so excited that you're getting to catch me live. Perfect timing. I'm glad that's working for you. The family and I are doing well. The kids are keeping us on our toes and growing like little weeds, of course. It was super fun. I actually went to my parents' house yesterday, so I took both of the kids by myself, which was the first like long extended time that I had both kids by myself. But it worked really well. They both did very well in the car. He slept. She only slept on the way home and talked my ear off on the way there. But we had a great time with my parents. My mom was doing some baking as they're getting ready to go on vacation, and my dad, of course, he's a farmer, so we went and looked at the cows, and they were baling hay. She was a little scared of the tractor, so we just watched from the car because she said it was too loud, and she would do it whenever she got older. So, yeah, we still had a lot of fun, and I really enjoy being out in the country and just seeing the gorgeous views on a beautiful, sunny, hot summer day. So it was awesome. Yes, Alex is definitely getting big. He's working on that third chin and getting super active now too. So yeah, it's been super fun with both of them. A little chaotic at times too, and that's why I'm not always on live like on a schedule like I wish I could be, just because routine is hard to find right now. But hopefully we'll get back there soon. Okay, so this is the You're a Peach Designer Series paper. And of course you guys know how much I love flowers. So this isn't actually a peachy piece. It is just, you know, beautiful flowers and that like green background sort of look. So even if you're not a fan of peaches, you might still be a fan of this paper, and for it to be on sale, why not? I super love the colors, like that coral, pale papaya, blue. Like, I don't know, those colors really just go together so perfectly, and I absolutely love that. So that's probably what draws me to this paper the most, is the color combination. So one of the awesome things about this card that I'm making today is that you actually get to see both sides of that Designer Series paper. Oh, this stripe is actually some of that too. So the one side is these little blue flowers, and then the other side is those coral stripes. So this piece, we're actually only seeing the coral stripes. But this piece, we actually get to see both of them, because this card is not your traditional card where you open it up either up or to the side. Instead, it's actually just a quarter sheet of cardstock, so it's like a panel. And then this little thing pulls out of the pocket, and you get to see both the both sides of the Designer Series paper. So how cute is that? Super fabulous. So I'm going to make this card with the little pocket with you guys today on this live. So let's see if I can put that up top there. And like I said, I actually have 3 of these cards to make. So we will try to get all 3 of them done. The stamp set that I'm using for this one, which really you could use any sort of greeting stamp set, so you can always get the paper. If you're not a huge fan of peaches, that's fine. You can still get the paper and use these patterns like I am. But you also don't necessarily need to have the stamp set in the bundle to go with the paper. You can still have so much fun with just the paper. I don't actually have the Euro Peach stamp set or the dies that coordinate with it. I just got the paper because I thought it was super pretty, and like I said, I'm loving that color combination. And I am just using the Create with Friends stamp set, so it's just a nice greeting stamp set that I'm using for this one. I really, really, really wanted to use the Amazing Greeting, but it actually didn't fit. It's really tight, but it could have maybe gone right here, but it's really, really tight, and I was too nervous. And I wasn't sure what I was gonna put with that, like hello amazing, or so the spacing just didn't work, but I can't wait to use that Amazing Greeting. So I just did Let's Celebrate, and then on the inside I did You. So I have my quarter sheet of cardstock here. This is in Calypso Coral, and the other thing about this is like the perfect card to make 4 at a time. Normally I say to make 2 at a time because one sheet of cardstock cut in half is 2 card bases. This one, we're cutting it into 4 pieces, so one sheet of cardstock makes 4 card bases, so we get to make 4 cards at one time. Of course, I'm only making 3 because the 4th card was used during club. So our Calypso Coral is 5 inches, or 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2. And then this designer series paper is just a 1/4 inch in. So it's 4 by 5 1/4. And we're just layering that on the front. I feel like I was talking super fast during all those measurements. So I will say that again, that the Calypso Coral is a 1/4 sheet of 8 1/2 by 11. So that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Yes, all of a sudden I was like, wait, that's not right, but it is. And then the designer series paper is just a 1/4 inch in, which is 4 by 5 1/4. So there's like our card base. And then I have all these little triangles. So you could always make your triangle whatever size you want. Mine is I can't even pick it up, a 3 1/2 inch square. And so I cut the piece of cardstock 3 1/2. And then I'll show you. I just then took that square, here I'll do it with the coral even though I'm not going to actually cut it, and then just put it into my paper trimmer, making sure that the corners were in the line like that track, and then I cut it. So that's how I got that design, or that diagonal cut, was I took a 3 1/2 inch square, so 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, and then I lined the 2 corners up in that track and then placed it down and cut it. And that's how I got my little triangle. Again, 2 of these squares makes 4 cards. So you really should just be making multiples of all of your cards because it's so much easier to make multiples than it is to come up with a different design every time. So I have one of those for each of these. I'm using Pear Pizzazz, which is this color of the leaf in the designer series paper. And I already have the Let's Celebrate on my clear block. Did you know that you can actually put multiple stamps on one clear block to build an image? And then you only have to stamp once rather than stamping the Let's and the Celebrate. A little fun tip for you guys. 1, it's less stamping, and 2, then it's lined up the same every time, or it's lined up incorrectly every time. I mean, either way, you did it on purpose, right? So let's celebrate. Let's celebrate. And let's celebrate. Super, super cute. Okay, so you're loving the stripes? I know, aren't the stripes just classic and fabulous? I'm loving them too. Then I actually prefer to use tear and tape for adhering this little triangle on, just because I feel like since it's like a working mechanism kind of spot, that your cardstock is sliding down in it and back out again, then I feel like, I guess it's not really a working mechanism, but I feel like there's a lot of push on this spot, and I want to make sure that it's nice and secure onto my card. So I'm just adding this on that outside border, just as close to the edge as I can. It doesn't necessarily have to go all the way to the tip of the corner. And I love tear and tape because it literally just tears with your fingers, so you don't have to worry about gunking up any of your scissors or anything. You can simply just press your finger against it and pull. If you hear Alex in the background trying to participate in my live, he's in the bouncy seat playing and yelling at the little animals that he has in front of him. I know it's Friday also. Did you guys know today is the first day of the Olympics? Technically it's not the first day because they started competition like 2 days ago. And of course it's in Japan, so it's like 12 hours ahead of us, or 12 plus hours ahead of us, depending on what time zone you're in. But the opening ceremony was today. I watched a little bit of it live this morning, and then of course it'll be on primetime tonight as the whole thing. I mostly just watched the end of it, so I did watch like the lighting of the cauldron, which was super fabulous and moving as always. But I almost want to watch a little bit of the primetime because there was this really cool drone thing, and then apparently there was a really beautiful song sung by a lot of different artists. Like one of them was, now I'm not going to be able to think of him. He's Australian. He's a country guy, and I really like him. I had a lot of his CDs. Keith Urban, yes. Thank you. Brad's in the other room with Alex, and he knew who I was talking about. But yeah, supposedly there's this really moving song, so it makes me want to watch it. We shall see how that goes with bedtime routine and everything else. Okay, so now now you can technically say I have my card bases complete. So there are all of my card bases. Now I have, and let me verify, because I kind of don't remember, the measurements. This piece of Designer Series paper measures 3 inches by 8 inches. So those numbers are really good for 12 by 12, leaving very little left over, which makes me very happy whenever using 12 by 12. So you can do 3, 6, 9, 12 across, and then you have your 8. And depending on your pattern, if your pattern doesn't need to go up and down or sideways, you can still get some left over in that 8 to 12 range and going up. You like Keith Urban too? Yes. Like, I'm not so much a country girl anymore. I used to listen to country all the time, like in high school, and I absolutely loved him. I still think he's also kind of cute too. And so we're just going to fold the designer paper in half. And we're going to attach that to a Calypso Coral base, as well as adding a piece of Whisper White to the inside. So the Calypso Coral base is just a 1/4 inch bigger than this. So I just did a nice little like trim around. You love, well good, I'm glad I'm not alone, Cindy. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't listen to country as much as I used to. I guess I listen to more like pop music. But I also feel like I don't even know what the latest music is anymore because I mostly listen to music in the car. And ever since like the pandemic, I don't go anywhere anymore. So I don't really listen to it that much. And like yesterday on the way to my parents' house, then on the way there, like I said, Claire was talking my ear off, so I didn't have the music up very high. nor could I really listen to it. And on the way home, I still had it down, and I had the air conditioner blasting and the sound machine in the back seat with the kids sleeping. And so I didn't want to turn the music up so that I could listen to it. So, I mean, in a way, I guess you could say I just had like silence, if you want to call a sound machine blasting air conditioning and a light music that you can barely hear in the background quiet. But yeah, it was kind of nice to just go on. I know, I love his accent too. I love anybody with a good accent. I am not good whatsoever at mimicking an accent, but I definitely, like, I could listen to someone speak with an accent forever. I'm just like mesmerized by it. Like, how do you do that? How do you make it sound like that? When I'm sure they're thinking the same thing about me too. Okay, so here's our little bases. I just did tear and tape again. Like I said, I really like tear and tape. I added a little dab of double-sided adhesive in the center, but it probably doesn't need it. I'm just an adhesive overuser, I guess. Okay, and then we have our little inside pieces. Oh, I'm missing one. Well, we'll do these two, and I'll do the last one. So I actually, I did this one, and it says you, and I did you 3 times, and I only inked it up once, so it kind of has that ombre look. And everybody said, well, how did you get it, your spacing and stuff? And I said, oh, well, you could always do you going from the bottom up if you want. And they're like, no, I like the way you did it. And I don't have any advice on that, except I just wung it. So, like, I'll show you going both ways. So you could either start in the corner and go you, and work your way up. Or you can just wing it and start up high and work your way down. So I'm going to go you. And of course, like, that third one's really, really light. That's so funny. It totally does sound like that. So you could go either way on whether you like it to be ombre up or ombre down. And like I said, like, even in the camera, I feel like you can hardly see that third U. But, like, you can also stamp it like lighter. Like, don't push too hard, and then not as much ink will come off. Like, I'm not a huge fan of guys with facial hair, so I can't really say that Toby Keith has always been, like, a heartthrob for me. But, like, you know, if you hurry up and do it, you can see that not much ink comes off, and my third U is a little bit stronger than if I were to, like, really press and hold, really press and hold, really press and hold. So you can see that this one I pressed and held a lot longer, so more ink came off for that original one and the second one, whereas this one, you know, and again, it's really not that big of a deal. You guys are probably looking at this thinking, I don't see anything that she's talking about, but it's there, and it's subtle. It's not even really necessary, but yeah, there you go. And it just adds a little extra flair so that you don't have this, like, little bitty small U down at the corner and you're thinking, oh, well, that looks like so little and like it's fading away, or it doesn't even stand out. So to make it stand out a little bit more, I just stamped it more times. So we're really celebrating you, and I mean it, by saying you 3 times. Okay. And it's small enough in the corner that if you had to, like, write over the top of it or something, then that would be, like, no big deal because it's still fabulous looking. Okay, so that just slides into the pocket. And I still have to stamp my other U on this one. after I can find another piece. So now we have our embellishments. So I did a little bow here in the pale papaya, and then I also added some rhinestones, and I'll show you guys how I did that. I took the pale papaya ribbon. This is that fabulous open weave ribbon, and I'm doing bunny ears. So I'm wrapping around my pointer finger, and then I'm just tying a knot with those 2 loops. And then pull on the loop and pull on this loop to sort of get the look we want. Yank those little tails down and pull tight. And I'm just using a mini glue dot to adhere this down. So you could probably just use one, but have I not mentioned I'm probably an adhesive overuser. Hi, Ruth. I left a link on this video for the Designer Series paper sale. So I don't know if I have the flyer. I don't have the flyer over here. So now I just press that ribbon into that and I'll trim my tails. But this paper is on the Designer Series paper sale. That Beauty of the Earth paper that I've been super loving. That's on the Designer Series paper sale. Tastes of Textures. The wild one with the animal prints and stuff. That one's on there. I feel like I'm kind of rambling on which ones are on the sale. Hi, Shirley. Welcome. Okay, so now we're just going to make another bow for this next one. And again, I like to hold the loop as I pull through because that helps. You know how like whenever you pull tight and then you rearrange the loops and then they're just as big, and then when you pull tight, then they're huge again? So I have found that that when you hold it, then it doesn't make it that much bigger. So like it slides through without like making it super loose, and so it makes it easier to be able to manipulate and get your final product without like going back and forth between trying to like make it look good and pulling it tight and making it look good and pulling it tight and that sort of thing. Hi, Ladine. Welcome. So excited to have so many fabulous faces, or names, I guess I should say, since you guys are only seeing my face, but names on this afternoon. So who else is excited about the Olympics? Because let me tell you, I'm super, super excited. It is on the description of this video. So I don't know, I'm guessing that's maybe below if you're on a phone. And that's how you see it, but it's in the description of this video. There's a link for that. After this video posts, then I will put the link on your comment though, because otherwise I'm not 100% sure where it is. Okay, so now I'm going to add those rhinestones. And I just took regular basic rhinestones, and I took my dark Calypso Coral Stampin' blends and just went around, just kind of swizzled around each of these rhinestones with the Stampin' Blends marker. And then now I can add these to my project. How cute is that? I'll still add these last 3 to this other card that I still need the white on. Well, thank you, Shirley. This pack of Designer Series paper is the You're a Peach Designer Series paper. So both pieces, both the coral stripe as well as this floral print with the green on the back side. Both of these sheets are in the You're a Peach Designer Series paper pack. And like I said, I still need to add that white piece and the bow, but this is what the inside looks like. So Let's celebrate you. Super, super fabulous. I still have, maybe I don't even have that last ribbon. Sometimes whenever I cut for cards, then like the last one always gets the raw end of the deal and it doesn't have all the pieces to it. Oh, and then I put the wrong one in here. The one without the ribbon. So just a fun way to use designer series paper, especially if you have a whole bunch of it that you super love and you're just trying to find ways to use it and enjoy it, especially both sides of it. So this is something that you guys could try out using some of your favorite designer series paper, because like I said, I just used a regular greeting stamp set to go with this. So you could always put happy birthday, you could put thinking of you, you could put anything on this little triangle and create this same style of card. It doesn't have to be using the exact same pieces that I used for mine. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will be posting this on my blog in the next couple of weeks or so. So it will also have all the dimensions on there, but I hope I mentioned all of them in this video as well. So you could always watch this and follow along with the dimensions on that. Like I said, the description box has a link for the designer series paper sale. But I will also put it in the comments here too, so that you guys can see that, and I'll answer like some of your questions with the link and things as we go along, so that you don't have to dig for it. So happy to help you guys out with that. Stay tuned. Next week I have another fabulous card using butterflies and some of the Pansy designer series paper, again in a similar way where we're using it as some of our card base so that you can see both the front and the back of the designer series paper. So stay tuned. That will be next week. I wish I could tell you which day, which time, and when it will be, but life is just too chaotic right now. I just never know whether it's going to be during nap time or in the morning whenever I have a chance or anything like that. So I'm sorry, guys. You'll just have to bear with me on that. I try my best to be able to put out a little like reminder saying like, hey, I'm jumping on in 10 minutes, half hour, something like that. But even that I sometimes can't always predict. But I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I hope you guys stay safe. Don't forget, sunscreen and hydration is key if you're outside, as this weather is crazy. Sometimes it can be a little bit hard to even breathe with all that high humidity and heat. So be safe, stay healthy. Love, hugs, and prayers to all of you guys. I enjoy you so much and wish you the best weekend ever. And go USA in the Olympics. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.